friends, I want you to take a moment and really feel this. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is how much you're willing to become obsessed with improving yourself. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Every habit you cultivate, every skill you sharpen, every thought you decide to master, it compounds into the person you are becoming. And let me tell you, the world doesn't wait for anyone. If you want to win at life, you have to start treating your own growth like the most important mission on the planet. I see so many people settle for good enough. They coast through life, hoping things will change without making the real changes themselves. But the truth is, greatness is never an accident. It's intentional. It's relentless. It's waking up every morning and asking yourself, what can I do to be 1% better than I was yesterday? When you live like this, you start to harness a force inside you that can literally transform every area of your life, your mindset, your relationships, your health, your impact in the world. You have to be willing to outwork your doubts, your fears, and the comfort that keeps you small. The people who change the world aren't waiting for permission. They're obsessed with being better every single day. And here's the secret: once you adopt this obsession, once it becomes who you are, life starts to move differently. Opportunities find you. Challenges empower you. Every setback becomes a lesson that propels you forward faster than you ever thought possible. So I want you to commit with me right here, right now. Decide that your life will be a testament to relentless improvement. Start building the habits, chasing the knowledge, and surrounding yourself with people who elevate you. Let this obsession with bettering yourself be louder than every excuse you've ever told yourself. You are capable of more than you've even imagined, and the time to prove it is today. If this message hits your heart, like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily motivation. Drop in the comments a famous quote that inspires you, and also share one thing you're believing God for today. Remember, success is not about talent. It's about persistence and the willingness to improve every single day. Now go out there and start becoming obsessed with the most important person in your life, you. Becoming obsessed with self-improvement is not just a concept. It is a lifestyle, a decision, and a declaration that you will no longer settle for mediocrity. When you commit to being obsessed with improving yourself, you are making a choice to elevate every part of your life, to rise above the ordinary, and to fully embrace the potential that already exists within you. This obsession is not about vanity or ego. It is about recognizing that you are the steward of your life, and every moment you spend growing, learning, and refining yourself is an investment in the person you are destined to become. Most people live their lives reacting to circumstances, drifting along without intention, letting their environment, their fears, and their doubts dictate the direction of their journey. But when you become obsessed with self-improvement, you take full ownership of your path. You decide to no longer wait for luck, opportunity, or external validation. Instead, you choose to focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your habits, your mindset, and your actions, because it is these elements that determine the trajectory of your life. Obsession with improvement begins with awareness. You must see yourself clearly, acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses without judgment or self-pity. You have to look in the mirror and ask the hard questions. Where am I settling? Where am I holding back? What habits, patterns, or beliefs are keeping me from reaching the next level? This kind of honest self-reflection can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is necessary. Growth is never comfortable. It is the tension between who you are and who you are becoming that creates the momentum for transformation. Once you recognize the areas that need improvement, you can begin to craft a plan, a strategy, and a set of practices that will allow you to move forward with purpose. And this is where obsession plays a role. It is not enough to have a vague desire to improve. You must cultivate a focused, relentless drive to implement change, to pursue mastery, and to hold yourself accountable day after day, even when it feels difficult, even when progress is slow, even when the world seems indifferent to your efforts. Being obsessed with self-improvement is also about energy and prioritization. You will never become the person you want to be if you scatter your focus across distractions, entertainment, or the trivial dramas that occupy so much of people's time. You must learn to guard your attention like a precious resource, investing it in learning, reading, practicing, and surrounding yourself with mentors, peers, and experiences that challenge and stretch you. When you dedicate your energy to improvement, you begin to notice that opportunities start to align with your commitment. Doors open not because the world owes you anything, but because your preparation meets the demands of the moment. You begin to develop skills, habits, and perspectives that allow you to navigate challenges with resilience and confidence. You start to embody the principle that growth is not a linear path, but a compounding force. The more effort you put into improving yourself, the more leverage you create for future success. Obsession with self-improvement also requires a deep understanding of discipline. Discipline is not about rigidity or self-punishment. It is about consistency, about choosing long-term benefits over short-term gratification. When you are obsessed with bettering yourself, you commit to daily practices that reinforce your values and vision. You read, you reflect, you exercise, you meditate, you plan, you act. Even when motivation fades, even when life throws obstacles in your way, your commitment to your own growth remains steadfast. And this is where true transformation occurs, not in moments of comfort, not when everything aligns perfectly, but in the relentless pursuit of better, in the quiet dedication to practice and refine, in the willingness to endure and persist when most people give up. This obsession also demands curiosity and humility. You must accept that you do not have all the answers, that there's always room to learn. That mastery is an ongoing journey rather than a fixed destination. Obsession is not arrogance. It is a recognition that improvement is infinite, and the more you seek it, the more you realize how much potential exists within you yet to be unlocked. You actively seek knowledge, mentorship, feedback, and experiences that challenge your current understanding. You become a student of life, constantly evaluating, adapting, and evolving. And as you grow, you inspire others around you. People are naturally drawn to those who are committed to growth, those whose lives reflect momentum, purpose, and the courage to chase something greater than themselves. Your obsession becomes contagious, creating ripples of influence, encouragement, and possibility in your community, your workplace, and your family. Finally, becoming obsessed with self-improvement transforms your relationship with failure and setbacks. When growth is your focus, failures are no longer threats but lessons, feedback, and guideposts. You stop fearing mistakes, criticism, or temporary defeats because you understand they are integral to the journey. You approach life with resilience, curiosity, and adaptability. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine your skills, strengthen your mindset, and test your dedication. You learn to celebrate progress, no matter how small, because you understand that improvement is cumulative and continuous. And as your obsession deepens, you notice a profound shift in your confidence, your clarity, and your capacity to act. You no longer wait for permission or external validation. You realize that the power to create change, to shape your destiny, and to live the life you dream of has always been within you. Waiting for your decision to act, your choice to focus, and your willingness to become utterly committed to the lifelong pursuit of self-improvement. Small, consistent habits are the building blocks of extraordinary lives. Most people underestimate the power of repetition, believing that success comes from a single breakthrough moment, a lucky opportunity, or a dramatic change in circumstances. The truth is, transformation rarely comes all at once. It comes through tiny, deliberate actions repeated day after day, week after week, until they accumulate into results that are impossible to ignore. When you understand that habits are the true currency of growth, you begin to see your life in a completely different way. Every choice, every action, every moment of discipline compounds. What seems insignificant today can become the foundation for remarkable change tomorrow. The people who achieve extraordinary outcomes are not necessarily more talented than everyone else. They are simply more committed to showing up consistently, doing the work, and embracing the incremental power of daily improvement. Consistency is not about doing something perfectly. It is about showing up, even when motivation is low, even when circumstances are difficult, even when the results are not immediately visible. Habits are the bridge between intention and accomplishment. You can have the most compelling vision, the clearest goals, and the strongest desire, but without consistent action, those dreams remain just ideas. By focusing on habits, you create a system that supports your growth automatically. When you design your environment, your routines, and your daily practices to reinforce improvement, you begin to align your life with your highest aspirations. The energy you invest in small, consistent habits multiplies exponentially, shaping your identity, your skills, and the way you interact with the world. Small habits also teach you the power of patience and persistence. The world often celebrates instant success, viral moments, and overnight transformations, but those are the exception, not the rule. Most achievements are the result of years of quiet, deliberate work. When you commit to consistent habits, you develop endurance and resilience. You learn to trust the process rather than chase immediate results. Every early morning you wake up to focus on your craft. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every moment you invest in growth adds layers of strength, confidence, and capability. Habits are the invisible architecture of success, silently constructing a foundation that supports achievements far beyond what you imagined possible. Another key aspect of small, consistent habits is their ability to reshape your identity. When you repeatedly act in alignment with the person you want to become, your mind begins to internalize that identity. You start to see yourself differently. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who tries or wants, and begin to embody the reality of someone who acts, who persists, and who grows. Habits are more than actions, they are declarations of who you are. Each choice to prioritize learning, health, focus, kindness, or discipline reinforces a new version of yourself. And as your identity shifts, your life follows. Opportunities, relationships, and experiences start to reflect the person you are becoming. You no longer wait for external validation or permission. You live in alignment with your highest potential because your habits have rewired your mind to accept nothing less. Consistency in habits also amplifies confidence and decision making. When you develop routines that support your goals, you free up mental energy for creativity, problem solving, and leadership. You reduce the chaos of indecision because your daily habits create structure and predictability. You begin to trust yourself more because you have repeatedly shown that you can follow through, even when it is hard, even when life throws obstacles in your path. Confidence is not born from luck, it is born from evidence, evidence that you can rely on your discipline, your commitment, and your choices. Each day you stick to your habits, you accumulate proof that you are capable of creating meaningful change, and that confidence compounds over time, just like the results themselves. Small, consistent habits also teach you the importance of alignment between intention and action. You may have the best intentions in the world, but if your daily habits do not reflect those intentions, nothing will change. When you align your actions with your goals, you create momentum that carries you forward effortlessly. Even setbacks, failures, and distractions cannot stop you because your habits are designed to keep you moving toward your vision. The power of habits lies not just in what you do, but in who you become through the process of doing. Your life transforms gradually, subtly, and profoundly as you repeatedly engage in practices that reinforce growth, resilience, and purpose. Over time, these habits become a part of you, shaping your thoughts, your emotions, and your choices in ways that set the stage for extraordinary achievement. Habits also amplify your ability to manage change and uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances will never be perfect. But when you have consistent habits in place, you create a framework that allows you to navigate challenges with composure and effectiveness. Habits become anchors in turbulent times, stabilizing your mind and energy so that you can respond rather than react. You develop a rhythm of improvement that is independent of external conditions. Whether you face setbacks, criticism, or unexpected obstacles, your habits keep you moving forward, providing a foundation of competence, confidence, and clarity. Finally, small, consistent habits create a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. When you see tangible progress, even incremental, you experience a deep sense of accomplishment and pride. Each step forward reinforces your belief in your ability to improve and to grow. You begin to celebrate the process, not just the outcomes, because you understand that mastery, achievement, and transformation are built one deliberate action at a time. Your life becomes a reflection of your dedication, your discipline, and your commitment to yourself. And as the habits compound over months and years, the results become undeniable, showing you that the path to extraordinary living is not paved with grand gestures, but with the quiet, relentless power of consistent action repeated day after day. Comfort and complacency are the silent killers of potential, the quiet barriers that keep ordinary people from living extraordinary lives. Too often, we settle for what feels safe, what feels easy, what allows us to coast through life without risk or challenge. But the truth is, nothing worth achieving ever comes from comfort. Growth is forged in tension and discomfort, in the moments when you push beyond what you thought was possible. To become the person you are capable of being, you must embrace the discomfort that accompanies transformation. You must step into situations that challenge your skills, test your patience, and expand your capacity. When you resist the lure of comfort, you open the door to opportunities, experiences, and insights that are inaccessible to those who choose the path of least resistance. Every time you choose courage over convenience, every time you opt for progress instead of stagnation, you are building strength, resilience, and a mindset that allows you to thrive in ways most people never will. Complacency often masquerades as contentment, convincing people that they are good enough, or that what they have is sufficient. But deep down, you know that good enough is a trap. It is the barrier between your current reality and your potential. When you recognize complacency for what it is, a refusal to grow, you can begin to break free from its grip. This requires honesty, reflection, and a willingness to confront the truth about where you are settling, where you are avoiding challenges, and where you are giving up potential for comfort. Once you see the areas of your life where complacency has taken hold, you can begin to take deliberate action to disrupt it. You start to set higher standards, establish bolder goals, and pursue the experiences that stretch you. Every step outside your comfort zone, every challenge you face head-on, reshapes your mind, your character, and your trajectory in life. Embracing discomfort does not mean reckless action or self-punishment. It means choosing growth over ease, choosing learning over laziness, choosing challenge over avoidance. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not those who avoid discomfort. They are those who welcome it as a sign of progress. They understand that every moment of unease, every difficulty, every test of endurance is a signal that they are expanding their capacity. When you adopt this mindset, you start to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. The discomfort itself becomes a teacher, revealing areas where you need to adapt, develop new skills, and stretch beyond your previous limits. Comfort and complacency also limit your vision. When you stay within the safe boundaries of what you know, you deny yourself the possibility of discovering your full potential. You limit the experiences, connections, and achievements that are possible. Growth requires experimentation, risk-taking, and a willingness to fail forward. Every failure, every misstep, every challenge faced outside of comfort is a lesson in resilience and a step closer to mastery. The more you push yourself, the more you expand your confidence, creativity, and problem-solving abilities. You begin to see that the world is not a place to play small, but a space to explore, contribute, and impact. Every time you resist complacency, you send a signal to yourself and the universe that you are committed to becoming more, achieving more, and living fully. Another critical aspect of overcoming comfort is recognizing the subtle ways it infiltrates daily life. It is not always a grand decision to settle. It often appears in tiny, repeated choices. Staying in a routine that doesn't challenge you, consuming content that distracts instead of educates, avoiding conversations that could inspire growth, or procrastinating on actions that could move you forward. These small choices accumulate over time, creating inertia that is difficult to break. But when you become aware of these patterns, you can deliberately interrupt them. You can take control of your environment, your schedule, and your actions to prioritize growth and challenge. Each intentional step you take outside of comfort builds momentum, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of more and setting the stage for extraordinary achievement. Complacency also erodes your sense of purpose. When you settle, when you avoid discomfort, you distance yourself from your deeper calling, your unique contribution, and the impact you were meant to have. Growth is intrinsically linked to purpose. The more you push yourself, the more clarity you gain about who you are, what you value, and what you are here to create. Every act of courage, every challenge embraced, every risk taken brings you closer to your authentic self. You start to recognize that life is not about avoiding pain or discomfort, but about moving through it with intention, resilience, and focus. This awareness ignites passion, energy, and drive, creating a force that propels you toward your goals with unwavering momentum. Discomfort also strengthens your mental and emotional resilience. Life will always present challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty, and the ability to navigate these moments with composure is what separates those who succeed from those who falter. When you embrace discomfort, you train your mind to tolerate tension, to adapt to change, and to respond with clarity rather than fear. Every time you push through a difficult conversation, a demanding task, or a personal limitation, you expand your capacity for endurance. You learn to face fear and uncertainty not as threats, but as opportunities to practice courage and mastery. This resilience becomes a superpower that allows you to take on bigger challenges, pursue more audacious goals, and maintain focus, even when the path is steep and uncertain. Ultimately, comfort and complacency are choices. They are decisions to prioritize ease over growth, familiarity over possibility, and routine over exploration. And every choice has a consequence. When you choose growth, challenge, and discomfort, you position yourself for extraordinary transformation. You begin to see life as a series of opportunities to test your limits, refine your skills, and expand your impact. You realize that discomfort is not something to avoid, but a compass pointing you toward the areas where you can evolve, thrive, and achieve more than you ever imagined. The more consistently you embrace challenges, the more deeply you commit to leaving mediocrity behind, the more your life begins to reflect the power, potential, and greatness that has always been within you. Your mindset determines the opportunities and breakthroughs you attract, shaping not only the way you see the world, but also the way the world responds to you. The reality is that life does not simply happen to you. It responds to the energy, beliefs, and expectations that you carry. When you cultivate a mindset of growth, possibility, and abundance, you begin to notice doors opening that previously seemed closed. You start to see opportunities in challenges rather than obstacles, solutions in problems rather than dead ends, and potential in yourself and others that was hidden under layers of doubt and fear. Your mind becomes a filter, a lens through which your experiences are interpreted, and the quality of that lens directly affects the quality of your life. Those who succeed consistently are not necessarily luckier or more talented. They are individuals who have trained their minds to see possibilities, to focus on what they can control, and to approach life with clarity, intention, and unwavering belief in their capacity to grow. Developing a high-performance mindset begins with awareness and deliberate choice. Too many people operate on autopilot, letting limiting beliefs, past experiences, or societal expectations dictate their actions. They react to circumstances instead of responding with strategy and purpose. But the moment you become aware of your thoughts, the moment you recognize patterns that are holding you back, you gain the power to change them. You begin to challenge assumptions, question fears, and replace doubts with empowering beliefs. Your mindset transforms from a passive lens into an active tool for shaping your reality. You start to see that what you focus on expands, and what you believe consistently becomes your experience. This awareness is not abstract or theoretical. It is practical and actionable, guiding every decision, every interaction, and every pursuit you undertake. A growth-oriented mindset also requires resilience. Life will inevitably present setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles, but your mental framework determines how you navigate these challenges. When you cultivate a mindset that embraces learning, adaptability, and perseverance, you no longer view failure as final or fear as paralyzing. Instead, you see these moments as feedback, as opportunities to refine your approach, strengthen your skills, and deepen your understanding. The ability to maintain clarity and focus in the face of adversity is not innate. It is developed through repeated practice, reflection, and conscious effort. Each time you choose to respond with courage, creativity, and determination, you reinforce neural pathways that support resilience, resourcefulness, and long-term growth. Mindset is also about vision and alignment. The clearer you are about who you want to become and what you want to achieve, the more powerful your mind becomes as a tool for creating that reality. Clarity of purpose shapes your thoughts, habits, and choices, making it easier to act with focus and consistency. When you align your beliefs, expectations, and energy with your goals, you create a magnetic force that attracts the right people, opportunities, and resources. You begin to notice synchronicities and connections that previously went unseen, as though the world is responding to your heightened awareness and intentional energy. A powerful mindset does not guarantee instant results, but it dramatically increases your likelihood of success by preparing you to recognize, seize, and maximize opportunities when they arise. Your mindset also shapes your emotional landscape. How you interpret events, respond to setbacks, and relate to others is directly tied to the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world. A constructive mindset fosters emotional intelligence, patience, and empathy, allowing you to navigate complex situations with calm and clarity. It reduces reactivity and impulsivity, enabling you to act from your highest self rather than your fears or insecurities. You begin to realize that your thoughts are not reality. They are tools you can refine, redirect, and use strategically to create the life you desire. Each deliberate choice to cultivate optimism, gratitude, and focus strengthens your ability to maintain equilibrium under pressure and empowers you to create experiences that are aligned with your values and aspirations. High-performance mindset is also about taking responsibility for your life. It is about recognizing that while you cannot control every event, you can control your response, your effort, and your focus. When you adopt this perspective, you stop blaming external circumstances, other people, or luck for your outcomes. You recognize that your success, fulfillment, and influence are products of your intentional thoughts, choices, and actions. This level of accountability is liberating because it puts the power squarely in your hands. You begin to approach life as an active creator rather than a passive participant, designing your days, shaping your habits, and directing your energy in ways that maximize growth, impact, and personal satisfaction. A powerful mindset also involves continuous learning and adaptability. The world is dynamic, circumstances change, and new information constantly emerges. Those who cultivate a flexible, curious, and growth-oriented mindset are able to pivot, innovate, and find solutions where others see only problems. They embrace change as a necessary component of progress and actively seek experiences, knowledge, and feedback that expand their capabilities. This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities for mastery and reinforces the belief that no matter what happens externally, they have the internal resources to navigate successfully and grow stronger with each experience. Finally, your mindset becomes the foundation of your identity and your influence. When you consistently think, believe, and act from a place of growth, possibility, and resilience, you begin to embody the qualities of someone who attracts opportunities, creates impact, and inspires others. Your energy, your focus, and your habits align with the vision you hold for yourself, creating momentum that propels you toward extraordinary outcomes. You influence those around you through your presence, your confidence, and your clarity of purpose. And as your mindset deepens, it not only transforms your own life, but also empowers you to elevate others, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circumstances, showing that the mind is not merely a vessel for thought, but the most powerful engine for transformation, achievement, and fulfillment. Relentless focus and persistence outperform natural talent every single time. Many people mistakenly believe that success is a product of innate ability, intelligence, or luck, but the truth is that consistency, discipline, and unwavering commitment are what separate those who achieve greatness from those who remain average. Talent alone is fleeting, without application. Without sustained effort, it fades into unfulfilled potential. Persistence, on the other hand, compounds over time. Every small action, every disciplined choice, every time you show up even when motivation is low, creates momentum. This momentum builds upon itself, creating a force that carries you past obstacles, through challenges, and toward the extraordinary outcomes that talent alone could never achieve. The people who achieve remarkable results are not always the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit, who rise each time they fall, and who maintain their focus on what matters most. Focus is the engine that drives persistence. Without clarity about what you are pursuing, persistence can become scattered, misdirected, and exhausting. High achievers understand that attention is the most valuable currency they possess, and they protect it fiercely. They know that distractions, trivial tasks, and the endless noise of life can drain energy and derail progress. By consciously directing focus toward the highest leverage activities, toward the goals that align with their vision, they maximize the impact of every action. Focus is not merely a mental state, it is a deliberate practice. It is choosing over and over to invest energy in what matters, to eliminate what does not, and to maintain alignment between intention and execution. Persistence without focus is scattered effort, but focus without persistence is wasted potential. Relentless persistence also requires emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will inevitably arise. Failures, rejections, and setbacks are not signs that you should stop. They are signals that you must adjust and continue. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn, refine your strategy, and deepen your commitment. Those who succeed understand that resilience is a skill that can be cultivated, and that persistence in the face of adversity builds confidence, character, and strength. Emotional resilience allows you to stay the course when others give up, to see beyond temporary discomfort, and to trust that consistent effort will eventually yield results. The combination of focus and persistence transforms setbacks into stepping stones, creating a trajectory that moves upward even when the path seems uncertain. Persistence is also about mastery of routine and habit. Extraordinary results are rarely the product of occasional brilliance. They are the outcome of disciplined practice repeated over time. High performers establish systems, structures, and daily rituals that reinforce their commitment. They set boundaries around their time, energy, and attention to ensure that each day contributes meaningfully to their goals. By doing so, they create a self-reinforcing cycle of action, progress, and momentum. Habits become the invisible architecture of achievement, allowing persistence to operate without relying solely on motivation or willpower. When focus is aligned with persistent habits, the combination becomes unstoppable, producing results far beyond what could be achieved through talent or sporadic effort alone. Another critical component of relentless focus and persistence is patience. True achievement is rarely instant. It is the accumulation of countless hours of practice, learning, and disciplined action. Those who embrace persistence understand that long-term success requires delayed gratification and a willingness to invest in the process. They do not abandon their goals when results are slow to appear. They measure progress in incremental steps, celebrating each milestone while keeping the larger vision in mind. Patience reinforces persistence, providing the mental stability and endurance necessary to continue showing up day after day, even when the rewards are not immediate. In fact, it is often the slow, steady accumulation of effort that creates outcomes that appear miraculous to those who do not understand the process. Focus and persistence also enhance decision-making and clarity. When your mind is concentrated on a clear objective and your actions are aligned with your goals, you eliminate distractions and reduce wasted energy. You become more decisive, more confident, and more strategic in your choices. Each decision is informed by purpose, vision, and long-term thinking. You develop the ability to distinguish between opportunities that serve your mission and those that do not. This clarity reinforces persistence because you are not wasting effort on irrelevant pursuits. Every action is meaningful, intentional, and directed toward creating tangible progress. Over time, this disciplined alignment of focus and persistence magnifies results, amplifies influence, and accelerates growth beyond what most people imagine possible. Relentless focus and persistence are also inherently motivating. The more you commit to your goals, the more energy and enthusiasm you generate for your journey. Progress fuels confidence, and confidence fuels action. When you see the results of consistent effort, you are inspired to continue, creating a feedback loop that strengthens both your focus and your persistence. This momentum carries you through moments of doubt, fatigue, or challenge, even when external circumstances are difficult. Internal discipline allows you to maintain alignment with your vision, pushing forward with steady determination. Persistence is not blind repetition, it is an active, conscious, and purposeful commitment to improvement, growth, and the realization of your potential. Finally, focus and persistence influence not only your results, but also your identity. The person who shows up consistently, who dedicates effort to meaningful pursuits, who resists distraction, and who perseveres through obstacles begins to internalize those qualities. They no longer see themselves as someone who struggles or gives up easily. They see themselves as a person of discipline, determination, and capability. This shift in identity reinforces future focus and persistence, creating a compounding effect that shapes both character and outcomes. Over time, the combination of relentless focus and unwavering persistence becomes a defining trait, a force that propels you toward extraordinary achievement and fulfillment, demonstrating that consistent effort, deliberate attention, and steadfast commitment are far more powerful than natural talent, luck, or circumstance. Surround yourself with people, resources, and environments that elevate your growth, because the truth is that your environment shapes who you become far more than you realize. Every person you spend time with, every book you read, every program you follow, every place you inhabit contributes to the thoughts, habits, and beliefs that form your identity. If you consistently immerse yourself in negativity, distraction, or complacency, you will find yourself reflecting those patterns back in your life. But when you intentionally seek out relationships, knowledge, and settings that inspire, challenge, and empower you, your potential expands exponentially. Growth is not a solo endeavor, it is cultivated through connection, exposure, and influence. The people who reach extraordinary levels of achievement understand this intuitively. They do not leave their success to chance. They design their environment to support their evolution, surrounding themselves with mentors, peers, and communities that elevate their thinking, their energy, and their actions. Being intentional about your environment requires discernment. It means assessing who and what you allow to influence you, understanding that not every relationship, opportunity, or setting contributes to your highest potential. Negative influences, even subtle ones, can erode your confidence, dampen your motivation, and distort your perception of possibility. Conversely, positive influences ignite your creativity, reinforce your resilience, and expand your sense of what is possible. Surrounding yourself with people who are ambitious, optimistic, and aligned with your values creates a ripple effect that amplifies your focus, persistence, and discipline. You begin to mirror their habits, adopt their mindset, and internalize their standards, raising the bar for your own life without even trying. Your environment becomes a silent partner in your growth, a catalyst that accelerates your progress toward your goals. Resources also play a critical role in shaping your trajectory. Knowledge, tools, courses, and experiences provide the structure, insight, and guidance necessary for growth. The people who achieve remarkable results are voracious learners, constantly seeking out information, strategies, and techniques that help them improve. They invest in themselves, not recklessly, but strategically, recognizing that the most valuable investment is in skills, mindset, and capabilities. By surrounding yourself with the right resources, you shortcut trial and error, avoid common pitfalls, and gain access to the wisdom and experience of those who have already traveled the path. Resources amplify effort, sharpen focus, and reinforce the habits necessary for consistent improvement. They transform intention into action and potential into measurable results. Environments, both physical and psychological, are equally important. The spaces you inhabit influence your energy, focus, and creativity. Cluttered, chaotic, or draining environments make it harder to concentrate, reduce motivation, and increase stress, while organized, inspiring, and supportive environments encourage clarity, focus, and high performance. The most successful people design their environments intentionally to support their objectives, removing distractions, creating routines, and cultivating spaces that energize and motivate them. This applies not only to physical surroundings, but also to digital and mental spaces. The media you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the mental habits you reinforce all contribute to the environment in which your mind operates. By curating these inputs, you ensure that your internal and external environments are aligned with growth, focus, and purpose. The people around you are the most significant aspect of your environment. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with, whether you realize it or not. Their beliefs, behaviors, energy, and mindset influence yours in subtle but profound ways. When you surround yourself with high performers, thinkers, and optimists, you are naturally inspired to rise to their level. Their ambition, discipline, and perspective become contagious, motivating you to adopt higher standards and greater focus. On the other hand, toxic, negative, or complacent individuals can drain your energy, distort your perception of possibility, and subtly limit your growth. Choosing your circle intentionally is an act of self-respect, a declaration that you will not settle for mediocrity, and a strategy for creating a life that reflects your highest aspirations. Mentorship is another critical element of growth-oriented environments. Learning from those who have walked the path before you accelerates development, prevents unnecessary mistakes, and provides insights that would otherwise take years to acquire. A mentor not only teaches skills and strategies, but also models mindset, resilience, and discipline. Their influence becomes a guidepost, helping you navigate challenges, make decisions, and maintain focus. Those who seek and embrace mentorship position themselves for exponential growth because they leverage the experience, wisdom, and insight of others, standing on the shoulders of giants rather than struggling alone in the dark. Communities also play a vital role in reinforcing progress. Being part of a group that shares your values, goals, and commitment to growth creates accountability, motivation, and encouragement. Communities offer support during challenges, celebrate victories, and provide opportunities to learn from diverse perspectives. Interaction with peers who are similarly focused on self-improvement accelerates your learning, exposes you to new ideas, and reinforces positive behaviors. Isolation limits growth, but connection amplifies it, allowing you to operate in an environment where excellence, ambition, and contribution are the norm rather than the exception. The resources, people, and environments you cultivate also affect your habits and routines. When you are surrounded by high-energy, growth-oriented influences, your habits naturally shift toward productivity, discipline, and consistency. Your environment cues your behavior, reinforcing positive patterns and reducing reliance on willpower alone. The combination of supportive relationships, inspiring spaces, and strategic resources creates a framework in which persistence, focus, and growth become almost automatic. You are no longer fighting against negative influences or scarcity. Instead, you are aligned with forces that propel you forward, making it easier to maintain consistency, take action, and achieve your goals. In addition, cultivating an environment that elevates you requires continual assessment and adjustment. Growth is dynamic, and what supports you at one stage of life may become limiting at another. It is essential to regularly evaluate your influences, relationships, and resources, making adjustments to ensure they continue to serve your evolving objectives. This proactive approach prevents stagnation, keeps momentum strong, and ensures that your environment remains a powerful ally in your pursuit of excellence. The act of curating your environment is not passive. It is an ongoing practice of alignment, refinement, and intentionality that compounds over time, creating an ecosystem that nurtures your growth, sharpens your focus, and magnifies your results. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with people, resources, and environments that elevate your growth is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is a strategic decision that affects every aspect of your life, from your mindset and habits to your opportunities and outcomes. Those who achieve extraordinary results understand this principle intuitively. They design their lives, relationships, and surroundings to support relentless improvement, high performance, and alignment with their purpose. By investing in and curating the influences around you, you create conditions in which your potential can flourish, your persistence can compound, and your life can become a reflection of the excellence, growth, and impact you are capable of achieving. As we bring this message to a close, I want you to take a deep breath and reflect on the journey we've just explored together. Every principle, every insight, and every call to action is not just theory, it is a roadmap for transformation. The path to growth, to mastery, to becoming your highest self, begins with awareness and intentionality. Remember, the small actions you take today, consistently and deliberately, set the foundation for the life you are capable of creating. Think about the habits you've been cultivating, the routines you've been practicing, and the focus you've been refining. Each of these elements compounds over time, creating momentum that moves you forward, even when circumstances are challenging. Your persistence is powerful, and your commitment to self-improvement is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Never underestimate the ripple effect of consistent effort. Consider your mindset as the lens through which you view every opportunity, every challenge, and every interaction. A growth-oriented mindset allows you to see beyond obstacles, to perceive possibilities where others see limitations, and to approach life with clarity, courage, and confidence. Cultivating this mindset is not a one-time task, it is a daily practice, a conscious choice to focus on what empowers you rather than what holds you back. Reflect on the environments and relationships you've chosen to engage with. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, who challenge you, and who inspire you to be better. Curate your spaces and resources to support growth and excellence. The energy you expose yourself to directly shapes the energy you bring to your actions, your decisions, and your future. Choose wisely and intentionally. Remember that discomfort is a signal, not a barrier. The moments that push you outside of your comfort zone are the moments where growth occurs. Embrace challenges as opportunities to strengthen your resilience, sharpen your skills, and expand your capacity. Every time you lean into discomfort, you are building the person you were meant to become. Never forget the power of focus and clarity. When you prioritize what truly matters, eliminate distractions, and align your actions with your highest goals, your energy becomes a magnet for success. Persistence combined with clarity creates momentum that carries you past setbacks, obstacles, and doubts. Focus is your engine, and persistence is your fuel. Together, they drive transformation. Take a moment to celebrate your progress. Every small win, every step forward, and every moment of courage is a victory that compounds over time. Recognize your growth, honor your effort, and let these victories reinforce the belief in your ability to continue ascending. Your journey is unique, and your dedication is building something extraordinary. As you move forward, commit to being intentional with your time, energy, and attention. Life will present distractions, challenges, and moments of doubt, but your choices in these moments define your trajectory. Show up for yourself consistently, choose growth over comfort, and never stop refining the habits, mindset, and focus that support your vision. This commitment is the key to sustainable success and fulfillment. Carry this message with you into every action, decision, and interaction. Let it guide your daily choices, inform your priorities, and fuel your pursuit of excellence. Your life is the sum of these moments, and by aligning them with your highest self, you create a powerful ripple effect that impacts not only your journey, but also the lives of those around you. Finally, take a deep breath and internalize this truth. You are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe. The principles we've explored, habits, mindset, focus, persistence, and intentional environment, are tools that empower you to rise above mediocrity and create the life you were meant to live. Commit to them, act on them, and watch as transformation unfolds. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for daily motivation, write any famous quote in the comments, and also comment one thing you're believing God for today.